views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Here we go. Welcome, everybody, of the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open BXRX. We've got it going on for you. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet because we have another fantastic open show for you. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from a man of faith as he highlights the work that his ministry is doing in the city of Newark. Then we'll learn about the contributions an organization is making in the lives of Bronx youth and shine a light on the great opportunity. After that, we'll sit down with the owner of a local vendor to learn about how the pandemic led him to following his passion and to see what new treats he is cooking up. Then Bobby C steps into the room. He has the latest in the world of sports. And then we'll take a look back at how two young entrepreneurs are helping our community stay hydrated. So stay tuned. All of this and more is headed your way. We are now wide open. Here we go. Here we go. Hello, everyone. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'm your host, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest, well, he's the CEO of World Gospel Music Association, and he joins us today to speak about his ministry work in Newark, New Jersey. So please welcome to the show, Dr. Albert J. Lewis, Jr.
I am victorious, thank you, my friend Bob. And
you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because, you know, we've been traveling all throughout Newark, New Jersey. We've been hearing a lot about you, and you've been doing some great work. And thank you for your service. We appreciate you, and we love you.
Okay. Well, as you indicated, and before I do that, let me say thank you for the invitation to your program. Appreciate it. I am the founder and the CEO of the World Gospel Musical Association, which is the oldest religious musical association of its kind in the state of New Jersey, celebrating this year 53 wonderful years.
Woo!
And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Out of this organization has come many other facets, such as the Gospel Hour, television production, where I serve as the executive producer and host. And we've been in existence now of 37 years, syndicated nationally. Out of the Gospel Hour, we have two other programs, which is called Sounds of Gospel and Good News. From that sprung the gospel music capital of the state of New Jersey, which is Newark, the gospel music capital, and we celebrate every June. The entire month of June is kicked off from Newark City Hall, and the council chambers, the mayor, and people from government, as well as we have seniors from the surrounding area. We have school choirs, young people that would come, and it's a wonderful celebration, a wonderful kickoff. I mean, it's just like you're going to Symphony Hall.
Yeah. Are you performing? You're performing on the steps of City Hall?
Oh, no. We're inside. We're inside.
Okay.
We are using the municipal council chambers.
Woo!
The only group that can do that. And certainly we've been celebrating Gospel Music Month now going into its 34th year. Well, you know, it's just been a wonderful thing to be able to see what you do. You plant a seed, you nurture it, you water it, and you see it blossom and it grows over the year.
And then harvest time.
One of my pet peeves is consistency will pay off.
There you go. How did you get started in the gospel?
From a kid, of course. My mother's family group called the Fields Gospel Singers. that consists of my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, and my older cousins. I was a little child. And as they went from various programs to program singing throughout the East Coast, I've traveled with them. And I was very interested in music, of course, especially playing music.
Yeah.
And began to take up piano lessons from Miss Thomas. And back in those days, you know, they were very adamant about you reading music. But going to a Pentecostal church, I would see the organist sit and play, not looking at anything, but listening to everything and playing what that person had heard. I wanted that. And
he can play by ear, and then later on he can read it.
I don't read as well because I'm just so used to playing by ear.
Right.
You don't do something long enough, and much of it you begin to lose the knack of it, and that's what happened. So ear has served me very well over the many years that I played. So being a part of a religious family, church-going group of people, I became very interested in the music. And by that, I was able to play for a number of choirs, serve as minister of music for quite a few churches, started community choirs, and today I still have a community choir, which is the oldest community choir in the state, and that's the Voices of Victory, which comes out from
and you know, Doctor, there's a lot of voices, great voices coming right out of New Jersey and New Jersey. I mean, Whitney Houston, what's her name? She has a school up to Cicely Tyson. She has a performing arts school. Melba Moore,
who taught in Newark and became famous in Newark. Dionne Warwick, she was born in Orange, but her grandfather
right up the hill there, right up the hill.
St. Luke AME church, and she was there, and plus she had her gospel group, which started also in Newark back in the earlier years. Before she became the Dionne Warwick that we know today. So Sarah Vaughan has come out. I can also tell you, now many people don't know, but Jerry Lewis, the former comedian Jerry Lewis, and Connie Francis are New Yorkers. I happen to have been 2 grades behind them in school. We went to the same school, Bergen Street School and Weekway High School.
Oh yeah, Weekway High School. Hey, tell us what is the World Gospel Music Association? Because they're going to give me a few minutes here. I think we've got about a minute left, but briefly tell us about that, and then tell us where we can go to get more information on all the wonderful things that you're doing in our community.
Well, certainly you can Google it, Dr. Albert Lewis TV, or you can go to YouTube, and you will see a lot of my television production work there, a lot of the other events that we've done. We honored Miss Dionne Warwick in her 50+ years in show business. We honored her right there at Newark Historic Symphony Hall. So there is where you find the goodies to what the World Gospel Musical Association has contributed to this great city called Newark.
That's what 2 of my friends, Melba Moore, Dionne Warwick. If you go to Backstage with Bob Lee, I have a big interview with Dionne Warwick, and she just laid it all out. Very pleasant person, beautiful. So is Melba. That was a wonderful person. Met Cicely also. Doctor, thank you so much, Dr. Albert J. Lewis Jr.
And a victorious salute to you.
Yes, founder and CEO of the World Gospel Music Association. We thank you, appreciate you, and thank you for your service, and God bless you.
And thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you. More Open on the way next. Don't move a muscle.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, Engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx to the world.
BronxNet.
The Puerto Rican Nationalist Party recently hosted U.S. out of PR at El Maestro Inc. in the Bronx. The event commemorated the 123rd anniversary of the invasion of Guánica, Puerto Rico by the United States on July 25, 1898.
16,000 soldiers landed in Guánica, Puerto Rico, and they invaded the island with the promise of independence and freedom for Puerto Rico. But unfortunately, that's not exactly what happened. Things were turned around, and we basically became a slave to another nation.
Puerto Ricans did not welcome the U.S. invaders with open arms. There were many campesinos that were executed by the invading military forces. Second of all, they could not have come with goodwill, simply because the general that led them, Nelson A. Miles, was responsible for the massacre of 300 Native Americans at Wounded Knee.
The community discussion comes on the heels of ongoing protests by Puerto Rican citizens against the development of private property on public beaches on the island, as well as in solidarity with Cuban protests against the U.S. blockade.
With all the protests and situations, and not only in Puerto Rico, but also in Cuba, where basically we are very connected, because the invasion of Puerto Rico on July 25th had to do also with the invasion of the United States to Cuba and basically all the countries, especially in the Caribbean at that time.
The Puerto Rican Nationalist Party was founded in 1922 with a main objective to work for independence. Of all Spanish colonial possessions in the Americas, Puerto Rico is the only territory that never gained its independence. Yet many Puerto Ricans on the island and in the diaspora have long been split between the decision. However, nationalists say that the choice is clear.
Statehood is not an option. We've been property from Spain and now to the United States, and what we crave is independence.
U.S. corporations enjoy $30 billion that they extract from Puerto Rico. So there's no reason for there to be so much poverty. If Puerto Rico was made a state tomorrow, it would be poorer than the U.S. state of Mississippi.
La situación en Puerto Rico no se arreglaron con la salida del gobernador Rosselló, porque el gobernador que está hoy en día es parte del problema que hay en Puerto Rico, promesa y toda la situación política que existe en Puerto Rico.
A march for decolonization, independence, and social justice for Puerto Rico will be taking place here in the Bronx on Sunday, August 15th, starting at 1 p.m. at Roberto Clemente Plaza. Reporting for BronxNet, Sonji Lopez.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Doc Bob Lee, and our next guest is the Director of Programs for the Center for Community Leadership at JCR-NYC. And she's here today to speak about a wonderful program and some of the services offered by her organization. So please welcome to the show, Alyssa Harstein. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. So the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York is the convening body for a bunch of Jewish organizations in New York City. And we do community relations on behalf of the Jewish community by mostly working with other communities.
All right. So tell us, how did you get into it?
I was working at UJA Federation of New York, which is kind of the big guerrilla organization of the Jewish world. And JCRC is one of the premier partners of UJA. And I was looking for that next move. It came up. I had been working on fellowships, and there was a chance to run a fellowship. So it really just all fell into place that way.
All right. And that's how it happens too. Everything just comes together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So speak to us about the ministry work that you've done in the community.
Yeah, so I run a program under the Center for Community Leadership at the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. And Rabbi Bob Kaplan is the head of that department. I'm sure that a few of our viewers have heard that name before.
Yes, tell him I said hello.
I will.
And my love.
And I run a program called the We Are All New York Fellowship, which brings together emerging leaders in nonprofit, government, and faith-based organizations who represent the diversity of New York City. So I would say that 90 to 95% of our fellows are actually not Jewish. So we do have a few Jewish fellows because they are a part of the grand diversity of our city. And these are emerging leading professionals that are living and working in our city and working every day to make it a better place. And they spend 10 months, one day a month with us to get some skills building development. So storytelling, group facilitation, resource development, and also some networking with some key nonprofit and government leaders throughout the city.
And do you get people coming back that have been with you in the past and they want to come and work with you and share their experience and, you know, just show the love?
We actually have a staff member on the center team who did go through our fellowship. She's now leading a healthcare disparities coalition that we organized in Brooklyn. So they do come back. And we also have 575 alumni around the city who are a part of our coalition, who do amazing work partnering with us to make the city a better place and also to respond to localized issues. But people can get involved by applying online. So our actual deadline was August 6th, but for BronxNet viewers, we're giving until August 16th. So if you say on our application that you heard about the fellowship through watching BronxNet and you work in a nonprofit, government, or faith-based organization and want to apply, you can totally do so until Monday, August 16th. The link should be below.
Okay, great. All right. And so just go to your website for that?
It's our website and then a form. Yep.
Okay, what's the website?
It's JCR-NY.org.
JCR-NY.org. I think I got it. I'm going to write it down. say it again.
JCR-NY.org.
There you go. All right. Now everybody knows about it. And tell Bob I said hello.
I will.
And make sure you give him a big hug for us.
I will.
Right. And tell him he's welcome to come on along with you too, the next time you guys come on.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alyssa Harstein, Director of Programs, the Center for Community Leadership at JCR-NY. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break right here. I've got more open coming your way next.
It was a fun day for kids to get creative in the Bronx, thanks to New York City Department of Culture Affairs and City Artists Corps. As part of City Hall in your borough, NYC Department of Culture Affairs teamed up with City Artists Corps workshop at the Mitchell Houses Center in the Bronx.
We're here to celebrate the kickoff of one of the many programs that are part of what we call the City Artists course, which is an investment of $25 million that the city is making in getting artists out into their communities to work.
The workshop is a part of the City Canvas program in partnership with ArtBridge and the New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA. Through the City Canvas program, artists across the 5 boroughs are beautifying sidewalk sheds and construction fencing with temporary murals. One of the artists a part of the initiative is Confetti.
So we're here with a workshop today. The first part was color theory, basically the therapeutic form of art and through coloring, because a lot of people don't really realize colors have a lot to do with moods and your emotions, be that made as just in your environment, what color you're using in a project, just the type of color clothes you wear for the day. Like all that relates. Like art is really around us, and it really does relate to all of our emotional being. And the second part we're doing right now, as you can see behind me, is the photography. So basically what I want these kids to do is find the beauty in the Bronx, because I feel like the Bronx is probably the most underappreciated borough in NYC, and it shouldn't be, because it's such a staple. Like I was explaining to the kids earlier, a lot of the less fortunate neighborhoods, they consist of a lot of brown, a lot of grays, and not that many like really brilliant colors, and that really works on like the environment and the mental of the people in the community. So we're just trying to liven it up.
City Artist Corps is helping all New Yorkers, including the youth like Eddie, experience cultural programming and art expression.
Art is a good thing to help people when they're stressed out or something bad is happening. It can release you from stress.
As I was talking to the kids early on and thanking them for giving this amazing gift to the city of New York, you know, them themselves, they were saying every time we see art, we feel inspired, it makes us think, it makes us happy. So we hope that the many projects that we're doing, engaging over 3,000 artists across the city, would bring that joy back to our city after such a hard year.
You can learn more about New York City Artist Corps by visiting www.nyc.gov. Reporting for BronxNet, Ashley Tiffany.
Locust Point residents gathered at the entrance of the Throgs Neck Expressway along Harding Avenue to let their frustrations out.
Literally, people cannot get in and out.
This is all due to the heavy traffic congestion the area experiences during rush hour. Assemblyman for the area, Michael Benedetto, says he's calling on DOT to create a solution for residents.
You have a whole bunch of cars coming on down here using this last entrance to the bridge, and it clogs up the local streets. The possibility of DOT creating another lane over here, because there is room.
Residents say that it's gotten so bad that cars bottleneck right here at this intersection and emergency vehicles cannot get through.
If there's an emergency vehicle, they can't get through. They can't get through Harding, and they can't get through the Throgs Neck Expressway extension, which leads into our Locust Point. So we would be without fire, ambulance, and police.
Some residents telling us they're worried about businesses in the area which are being affected by rush hour traffic. However, Regional Director of Bridge Operations Ray Higgins says closing the ramps during rush hour isn't such a simple solution.
There's people in the community who don't want it closed. And there's a lot of moving pieces here. There's no one simple question that encapsulates the whole thing, and there's no one simple answer that would answer the whole thing.
The small community is planning to sit down with MTA bridges and tunnels later this month. Reporting for BronxNet, Darissa White.
Welcome back, everybody, of the Doc Bobley, and our next guest is the founder of the Cardamom Man, and he joins us today to speak about how the pandemic inspired him to start his own food vending business. And he is baking up a storm. We're going to see if we can send him to the kitchen to get some of those baked goods. So please welcome to the show, Noah Arris. Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. How are you today?
All right. Now, where are those cookies? Let's kick it right off. Where are they? No, you'd have to tell us. Right
It usually is a package deal. I usually don't leave the home without the other.
I know. But I want to find out, how did you start this business in the middle of a pandemic? Talk about that.
Yeah, so starting a bakery has actually always been a dream of mine. I didn't think I'd be doing it so early in life. I'm 31. I thought I'd do it like way after retirement as like a little fun, like mom and pop sort of shop.
Yeah.
And I used to work in hotels all my life, and I always loved baking. So I would bake for my coworkers, our VIP guests, when I would travel around the world. And
I heard you traveled around the world to different hotels to bake.
I would go to different hotels, help to make their lives easier for the workers, for the owners, the managers, whoever. And it's always nice to bring a sweet treat, because working in hospitality or working in any place, it's not easy. it's hard and you spend most of your life at work. So it's just nice to bring a little bit of kindness out there to everybody and a little bit of sweetness. And I enjoy it. I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with 6 people. So the kitchen was, you know, my space, right? And so
you put everything in that kitchen, right?
Put everything
I'm going to
into
sleep on this
it,
countertop, right?
You get an immediate reward. I am blessed with a fast metabolism, but I do have a sweet tooth for sure. And the pandemic really pushed me to start this because I always need to be doing something. I always need to be working. And so when I was furloughed and then eventually laid off when hotels were closing and there was no more opportunity within the hotel world, I decided to go out and just bake, just keep doing something. And then I went to a farmer's markets. I started a little like pet project of mine where every week I would send a little box of cookies to hoteliers I knew, whether they were still working or furloughed or laid off or whatever. It's a really small world, the hotel world. And you talk to people from all over the world and you bump into them at least 5 times in your life. So it's been fun. It's been really nice. And I love it.
Yeah. How did you come up with the name Cardamom Man?
So that's sort of funny. Cardamom was always my sort of secret ingredient. And
it's an ingredient.
Yeah, it's been my secret ingredient. And I was a little bit disappointed. I understand why, but I was a bit disappointed when the Food and Drug Administration requires you to list all your ingredients. So it's not really a secret so much anymore.
It's like you had to tell, right?
I had to tell the world. So I just thought, let me just put it out there. Let me like put it on blast. Like, this is what makes my baking absolutely 100% unique, special. This is what you're gonna love. And it's fantastic.
But you didn't give them all the secrets, right? Because you didn't tell them how those cookies help to grow your beard and all of that.
Oh, yeah. This grows pretty fast, actually. And I used to hate shaving every day in school. And then finally, when I left hotels, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to grow it out because now I can.
What cookie do you use for that?
My beard?
So how did you get started
in
the market where you are now?
So I got started because cardamom is really unique. It's very flavorful. I describe it, if you've never had it, like cinnamon, but a little smoother and sweeter. And because it's so flavorful, it allows us to use less sugar in our products because I do have a big sweet tooth, but I don't like eating things that are just sugar and nothing else. Like, I like flavor. I like to taste something, to have a really nice experience. And so what cardamom allows us to do is put less sugar in our products, which is really, really nice. So we do fun things like we put them in the chocolate chip cookie. Customers have told me that's their gateway cookie because everyone knows what a chocolate chip cookie tastes like, but cardamom will be something different. We put fun things like rose water in our rainbow sprinkle cookie. So when you take a bite, it smells like roses. We put lavender and lemon zest in the black and white cookies, which are the best black and whites in New York you'll ever have, by the way.
Yeah. Now, where can we go to taste these?
So I'm at multiple farmers markets. I'm at Peekskill, New York, and every other Saturday. And every Sunday, I'm right here in the Bronx. I'm in Riverdale. That's 4455 Independence Avenue, right outside the Riverdale Temple Synagogue. We're right there. I also ship. You can go to theCardamomMan.com. I'm on Instagram. You can go to my handle, The Cardamom Man. Just ask questions. What I really love is getting questions about baking tips or ideas. You know, I'm not a professional by any means. I didn't go to a culinary school. So I love learning from them. I'm talking to chefs that have been kind enough to mentor me in Cyprus, for instance, in England. So that's really cool. The baking community is just really friendly, and I'm really happy to have come to this.
But no, I heard that when you go out, you don't come back with any product. You sell them out. You sell out.
Yeah. That is pretty.
Unless you want to put a stash. Unless you want to put a few on the side on your way home.
I always, I give some to my doorman. I go to the farmer's market. I give some to the volunteers there. If we are in that circumstance where you have leftover, we have, I don't know if it's happening all over New York City, but definitely in the Bronx, we have something called the friendly fridge. And little neighborhoods have refrigerators and freezers.
All right.
Yeah. So we just put some of our stuff in there whenever. And I mean, the fridge is empty every night, so someone's enjoying it, I hope, and just having a nice experience with it.
Any major plans for the Cardamom Man's Cookie business?
Yeah, so what I just starting next week is looking to get a brick and mortar store.
Oh, all right.
So nothing set in stone, but I feel like I'm ready for it. I have like most of the finances, I believe most of the finances, who knows, right? In order. And I really want to start looking into that because the farmers markets are great, but realistically, you know, I'm only selling Saturdays and Sundays. And then the rest of the week I'm baking. And because I'm baking at home, I use more time than I'd like to actually bake. You know, I only have one oven, small storage space, right? And really like.
So you need a bigger boat.
Need a bigger boat. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Yeah.
And then you can start baking bread because you'll be making
bread. I do actually make bread, cardamom bread, actually. It's delicious. It's Swedish pearl sugar on top. And my wife is fantastic because she loves how it tastes. But if you imagine baking like 10 loaves of bread every day at home and not eating any of them, her willpower is fantastic.
Yeah.
So they have great support. Yeah.
Well, how do you handle that? I mean, you know, you have to taste your own product, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
You have to wear the shoes. You have to wear the shoes that you sell.
I don't have like a good answer. Like I know you need willpower and like determination and like a little bit of self-respect. I do definitely taste just about everything though.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, because it is home baked. You don't know if it'll be different, and if you have one cookie, you don't know if the second or third will taste the same also. So.
Oh, because once you start off with one, you're gonna keep on
it's
going.
A really
and that's how I do it.
Yeah, I'll wait till it becomes a problem, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, Noah, where can we go for more information?
Yeah, if you go to www.thecardamomman.com, you'll see everything. You'll see how to contact me with questions, advice. You have suggestions for me. I'd love to hear them. You can shop and take a look at what I do. Happy to share like recipes also. Like, again, like just really like, I'm not making millions off this. It's more something I like to do for myself, for the community. So anything I can do to help you all enjoy cookies more and enjoy eating baking. Baked goods, love that.
Well, once you start baking the bread, you're going to start making the bread.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Noah,
I appreciate
Noah Arris. Thank you. The Cardamom Man's Cookies. Noah Arris, founder of the Cardamom Bakery. Well, I'm going to call it bakery because you want the brick and mortar.
That's place, right. That's absolutely right.
And that's going to happen for you.
Absolutely.
All right. God bless you. You have a biblical name. God bless you.
Thank you. Love it.
All right. All right, Noah. Noah, if you're into sports, check this out. I have Bobby C. We got to give him some cookies too. Bobby C's here with the latest in the world of sports. Next.
They made history as the first all-African-American circus act in U.S. history in December of 1969 after auditioning for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus outside Madison Square Garden the previous year. 1, 2, 3. And on this day, the community joined City Council member Vanessa Gibson to pay tribute to the King Charles Troop Unicycle Club, founded by the late Jerry King, right here at 170th and Clinton Avenue, where he trained the first generation of unicyclists that included his son, Charles King, and Donald Kewash Stewart, whose children, including Sheena Stewart Davenport, traveled north from Atlanta to celebrate.
I am so proud and so honored and so humbled that this legacy was left.
Only one at the time. Stewart Davenport had no idea what her father was up to. The same could be said for Kim Anthony Jones, now director of the King Charles Troop, who in the late 70s joined a friend who was trying out for a sports team.
I figured basketball or baseball, so I just tagged along. And to my amazement, we walked into this gym with over 20 plus guys doing all these athletic things on a one-wheel bike, and including playing basketball.
Learning the sport from his father as early as 7 years old in this photo seen here, this was the vision of King's, who in 1918 saw a unicycle act and vowed to open the door for African Americans, something he fulfilled through guiding King and other first-generation riders like Stewart, who in turn taught and mentored others.
He trained a lot of the guys that was out here riding today. Kept all of them out of jail, you know. They got big stories about coming up hard, and you know, my father, Kewash, he was one of the ones that they'd be like, "Yo, Key, go get him."
Now training a fifth generation of unicyclists, the work continues as they prepare to perform with the Omnium Circus in the fall of this year. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Mukoko.
One of the greatest race car drivers of all time is with us this morning, Willie T. Ribbs. Willie, how's life in Texas? How you doing?
Bobby C., I'm staying hot down here.
It's actually hot up here in New York City too. So I don't know if it's as bad as it is in Texas, but we're feeling the warmth here in the summertime.
Well, you know, we can share that, but I can tell you that it stays hot down here for a long time. You up in New York, you might get it for a few days and then it cools off. And I got to tell you, I like coming up north of New York City, up in Connecticut, and I love the weather up there.
Well, Willie, I'm going to stick with the topic, I guess, of hot, because the Superstar Racing experience was definitely a hot experience this summertime, and you just wrapped up SRX. You know, your competitive drive, even at 66 years old, is extremely evident. You know, what was it like to be back racing regularly again? I mean, 6 consecutive weeks in a row for that series.
It was like boot camp. Now, I haven't gone through the military and boot camp, but I had never, in all my years of racing, and I've been racing for 45 years, right? I have never done 6 weekends in a row. And to do 6 weekends in a row at 66, boy, that'll get grind on you. But it was great from the standpoint of reconnecting with fans again, old and young. There were a lot of fans who weren't born when I was racing. And so to meet new fans and then, of course, reconnect with fans that are close to my age, that followed me, was a great experience. And then racing with, you know, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott and Michael Waltrip, plus Helio Castro-Neves and Kanan and Paul Tracy. It was great. And little bitty Haley Deegan and Ernie Francis Jr. It was young and old, right? Us old guys, Waltrip and myself and Bill Elliott out there banging it up with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you know, you bring up a great point. I have the little roster here. I love having showcasing some of my collectibles here on the show. But, you know, you were the oldest driver in the series. You don't look it. And CBS even did a fine job of marketing the series, of course, as the legends coming out of retirement. But I know some of your real diehard fans, myself included, will remember that it's just a couple years ago that you won that race, the Indy Legends Charity Pro-Am race in 2019. I was there covering covering that race. And I think it speaks to the fact that, again, you still have that drive and you're still winning when you're behind the wheel of a race car.
This SRX series was all short tracks, all bull rings, half miles tracks. And we did 1/4 mile in Milwaukee at a place called Slinger. And a 1/4 mile racetrack in a big race car with 750 horsepower, that was work. But it was, you know, you get in there and you're racing with everybody, and when you're done, you look at, you know, you get out and you say, you know what, I'm older, but I still enjoy it and I still feel the energy. I'm not as fast, but ask any former baseball player, football player, or basketball in their 60s how fast they are.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I was watching it, or we got a chance to come out and cover that first race, got to see you again, you know, I think novelty brings energy and excitement. And you see the ratings are up for motorsports pretty much across the board. And this series, you know, brought together some of those elements. You had different formats, you had different venues, different combinations of drivers. And I think that's why it worked so very well. I mean, it was something new and exciting. And motorsports is all about entertainment.
Well, and we did 2 of the races. 2 were on dirt, and I had a ball. I'm no dirt racer, but I had Eldora. I was leading in Eldora on the dirt for the first time, and I got to tell you, it was fun. It was fun to race. It was, you know, you're sliding. You know, on asphalt, you hardly, you know, move that wheel. You turn, but you don't go right. And dirt, you're right more than you are left. So it was a great experience, and I think that added to the spectacle. And you talk about ratings. We had bigger ratings than Formula One. We had bigger ratings than IndyCar. We had as good a ratings as NASCAR Cup Series. That's their big series. It was strong. But we put on a hell of a show.
You absolutely did. I mean, and in terms of your career too, Willie, which is something I obviously wanted to speak about this morning. I mean, you were 25 years ahead of your time. Is it hard to believe that it's been 36 years since you made that first attempt to qualify for the Indy 500, especially after becoming at that time, you know, you were a dominant driver in Europe?
You know, it goes fast. Bobby, see, you'll find out.
I'm getting. I feel it now. I'm getting.
Yeah.
It.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're on your way, and I got to tell you, it goes by, and you know there are a lot of the great moments you recall. It's so easy to recall the great moments. There are moments that you know you don't care to think about, but you know, getting back in the seat, you know, you get in slow, you get out slow. In the old days, when you're young, you leap in, you leap out, right? So I had it was great to come back and do it, but you know, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Good stuff, Willie. I mean, you're a racing pioneer. I know sometimes when people give out those kind of great titles to someone, you might not necessarily feel that way, but you absolutely are the Jackie Robinson of motorsport. And your story is so beautifully told in this documentary, Uppity. I want to showcase my collection of T-shirts here. You know, our fans at home should definitely check that out on Netflix. And to me, Willie, there is no Lewis Hamilton without Willie T. Ribbs. And it's hard for me to fathom that in 2021, as a man that became the first black driver to test a Formula One car, there's only been one black driver in F1 in 71 years of racing, and that's Lewis Hamilton. And you can make the case that the 7-time champion is the best ever.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he is on the verge of winning 100 Formula One World Championship Grand Prix. The nearest guy to him is 77. Okay, that was Michael Schumacher. He's won more races. He's had more poles. He's done more than anyone. He's equal to world titles at 7 with Schumacher. He could before he retires, he'll be at 8, maybe 9. I mean, he set the bar so high, it's almost, impossible for anyone to equal it, let alone break it. So, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his resolve. I'm proud of his toughness. And every time I see Lewis, and even not even just Lewis, young kids today, I remind them that what Muhammad Ali reminded me of: you must be tough. You must be tough. You don't show pain. Ali told me, he says, I fought Ken Norton with a broken jaw for 13 rounds. He never knew I was hurting because I never showed pain. You don't show pain. And that might be old school, and some psychologists might say, that's too rigid, or you must be determined, you must be resolved, and don't show anything that would enable your detractors or your competitors to beat you.
That was part 1 of our interview with racing pioneer Willie T. Ribbs. Tune in this Friday for part 2.
Community Film Initiative Bronx Film 48 hosted an outdoor film screening at the Sun, Wind, and Shade Oasis Garden in the Bronx. The screening presented the works of local and indie filmmakers who created their own short films in just 48 hours.
Bronx Film 48 is having their 3rd annual film screening with all the filmmakers from our 48-hour challenge. We're here today to showcase all of those films, give out some awards, and have the community have a good time watching the films.
For us, it went, I think, really smoothly, actually. I feel like it went better than I would have expected. Of course, we had some hiccups towards the end, but it all kind of resolved. So I'm excited to see ours, and I'm really excited to see everybody else's too.
Following the screening of 7 films, participants received a series of awards. Team Capitan's Corner swept the competition, earning 6 awards, including first place for Best Film with their family affair silent film, Funny the Way It Is.
Being with your family is honestly really nice, and being able to do something that everyone else could see and see the representation of family, that's really important.
The award-winning films will be entered into the Mott Haven Film Festival this year, providing participants yet another opportunity to showcase their work in the community. Judge of the 48-Hour Film Challenge and founder of the Mott Haven Film Festival, Ninoska Carolina, shares the importance of supporting filmmakers through partnerships like this in the Bronx.
I feel that when it comes to film, our borough is not really showcased unless it's some big-time Joker movie, right? But I feel like little events like this one makes a really big impact. So I'm very proud to be here, to be a judge, and to be part of the festivities, actually.
We're allowing people from all levels of film, whether you're making your first film or whether you're super seasoned in it. We created this safe space for everyone to come and just make a movie and come show everyone else.
As a community partner, BronxNet will also broadcast all completed films on our public access channels and website at BronxNet.tv. Follow at BronxNet TV and Bronx Film 48 on social media for more information on upcoming programming and film screenings. Reporting for BronxNet, Sanji Lopez.
Welcome back, everybody, on the Doc Wildly. Hey, it's still summertime and the heat is on. And it's time for, well, kids to get active right about now. But we'll take a look back at how 2 young entrepreneurs are helping kids beat the heat and stay on their feet with their Water2Kids product. Here they are, Brazil and Princeton, Dowe. So tell us a little bit about how you guys got started. What got you into the water thing?
Well, it was basically when we were 7, turning 8. Me and Princeton were just sitting on the couch, and then I noticed that this girl, she just kept on drinking soda and juice, and then she changed and she started drinking water with fruit in it. And then I thought, we were in the car, and I was like, what can we do to help the Bronx? Because back then the Bronx was 62 out of 62, and it still is the most unhealthiest borough. So we were like, how can we help? So we came up with a water brand. Water the number 2 kids.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And how did you come up with that name?
Well, we just thought, what can we say? Water 2 kids. Since me and Princeton are 2 kids and we want to help out, so we said water the number 2 kids with a little cute logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has another implication too. Water to kids, like distributing water to other kids.
Yeah.
I like it. You guys are smart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, mom and dad, of course, are helping you guys out.
Yes.
But you guys run the show.
Yes, we run the show on BronxNet, but we're basically like, we get all the information, we record it, and then my mom will edit it, and my dad will help, basically.
What kind of challenges did you run into during the pandemic? You know, this thing that just put the brakes on everything in our community, and we had to stay indoors and quarantine and do all these things. How has the pandemic played in the running of your business?
I mean, we're fine. Since we did homeschool, we know how it is, and we know how to work when we're at home. So we thought about it. We were like, kids aren't really learning online because, kids are online. They like school. They like in person better. So we thought about it. We were like, why don't we make an educational tool for kids to have fun and learn at the same time? So we created
look at that. Yeah. All right. That's fantastic. And now you guys have a show on BronxNet?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, it's an educational show where we give information to kids. We do feeling time to motivate them, what's news, to tell them what's news, what's going on in the area.
Stuff with technology, and then spotlight where we spotlight other kids, and we do a bunch of things.
Yeah. And then what have kids, how long have you been doing it so far?
We haven't been doing it for that long. I think we've been doing it for a few months, but we recently I think this is our we're just on Monday we're gonna put it up. I think the second time we're gonna put it up on BronxNet.
All right, so you guys are newbies on it, but that's great.
Yeah, it airs every first
kids.
Monday of the month.
Okay, a lot of kids are learning a lot. What stands out in your mind? What's the best show so far that you've kicked out to the kids?
The first show.
The first show?
Yeah, the first show.
And what was that about?
The first show, we had every single segment we added, like I said, we did it. It was our first time, so we were so happy to do it. It was exciting. We just brought it out.
And what happens from here? What's going to be the next show?
The next show is going to be our third show. Well, the second, we have to put out the second show, which airs every first Monday of the month. And then after that, we're going to do a third show. We have to record it, have to look up stuff.
You get superstars on the radio and TV.
Yeah.
And you got merch. I like those T-shirts. And you got what's that booklet that you held up?
It's a trivia book. Think You're Smarter Than Adults, and Learning to Trivia Activity Workbook.
And it comes with the flashcards too.
Yeah.
That's great. So one of the things inside, if you wanted to teach somebody something, what does it have as far as in the flashcard?
It has 6 subjects: science, social studies, language, arts, technology, arts, and music.
And what's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is science and music.
Uh-oh. And yours?
I like science and art. I also like math. I like all of them, actually.
So what are your biggest dreams? Where do you want to go from here? You got the Water to Kids, you got the TV show.
Well, we want our business to be a household brand. We want everybody to know, even not only in the United States, we want people to know in Australia and Russia. We want everybody to know, and we just want our business to be really big and out there.
Well, with the water, we don't sell the water bottles no more. We don't sell these water bottles no more, but it's an educational tool that we spread through our platforms. But now we're going to start new things with the Water to Kids, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And we just created like drink your water campaign challenge where we want kids and adults to be hydrated and drink their water and stay
How
healthy.
important is that, to stay hydrated and drink your water?
It's important because you can have a longer life. You can stay alive longer and you can be healthy and hydrated.
Funny how time flies when we're having fun. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. We just can't appreciate you enough. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. But before we let you really, really, really go, I've got something special I'd like to share with you. See, some of the most renowned fighters in the boxing community, they gathered together with their families for the annual Friends of the Champ brunch. The event was held at the Morris Yacht and Beach Club on City Island, not too far from Sammy's. Our very own Arlene Mukoko has the story. I was there too. Check it out.
He's among the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Mike Tyson, here with his wife Kiki, was a featured guest at a Friends of the Champ brunch at the Morris Yacht and Beach Club on City Island with other former world-class boxers like Irish Mickey Ward and Alfred Ice Cole, who took time to greet fans. We talk with Jalen Johnson here from Hempstead, New York, just minutes after meeting Tyson as he was leaving.
It was surreal, honestly. It felt like a dream in a way.
I want my son to meet one of the best boxers, one of the greatest boxers of all time, Mike Tyson. I think he really enjoyed it. He was very excited.
Inside, guests mingled with some of the greatest names in the industry, like founder and president of the Friends of the Champ, Iran Barkley.
I see so many of my fighters and fellow fighters that I know was going down and having a hard time. They done spent a lot of money now, and it's hard to come back.
That was his story after seeing his $5 million fortune disappear. Among those helping him to bounce back, Vice President of the organization, John Verso.
We are helping fighters, retired fighters and their families who are having difficulty facing regular life challenges outside of the ropes.
Among those grateful, retired Bronx-born boxer Aaron Davis, who trains up-and-coming fighters in the Morris Park section.
I mean, when you're a boxer, it's not just being a boxer, it's about life. It shows you how to live a life, how to live a clean life.
It's something that's been needed for a very long time.
Not only were the guests impacted, seeing Tyson had iconic Michael Spinks remember being with him in the ring in 1988.
He hit me one time and I fell down and that was it.
When I was in high school, they did an interview with me because I was a Golden Glove boxer, and I was joking, and I said one day I'm going to fight Michael Spinks for the light heavyweight title, and now today I'm hanging out with him.
Ward talked about the long overdue event with Tyson, someone he began his career with.
It's amazing being here today. Actually, you see all the champs. Iran Barkley right down the line from him to all the great champions, and then it was great to see the guys that I fought in the Nationals with back in 1983. It was a reunion, 38-year reunion.
In the end, it's all about paying homage to these top fighters, shared Junior Jones, who competed from 1989 to 2002. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Mukoko.